So recently I was working on a new web design and I wanted to add a little bit of flair to my headings so that it wasn't just a plain old boring text in color, right? So what I came up with was a slim top border that I think was the perfect solution for adding a little bit of accent without taking away from the overall look. I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can achieve this, both with a slim top border, a bottom border, and also on the left. So for today's demo, I'm going to utilize this Meet the Team page I created on a recent tutorial where we discovered how to recreate these card designs. You can check out my past video if you're interested. So we're going to look at these 3 headings, right? These are just duplicate sections, and I'm going to style each of these 3 differently. This top one's going to have a slim top border. This middle one will have a left border. And the bottom one, I'll move it to the bottom border. Now it sounds simple, but there is a little bit of tweaking and some CSS we have to write. So let's go ahead and get started. So diving into the back end of the page, what we need to do to first address this top heading, the first heading of the page, is come down to Advanced and add a CSS class. So we're going to say heading border top. Now we'll go ahead and hit update, and now we need to jump back to our page and go into the customizer. Okay, so now in the customizer we're going to write a little bit of CSS. So we're going to type our class heading border top, and we're going to say position relative. And then what's going to pull in the border is an additional CSS. So we'll say heading border top, and we're going to say before. So we want this to appear on top of the text. So we'll say content blank position absolute left. We'll say 0 just to say all the way to the left, top 0, so it's all the way at the top, and we'll say border top. And we could do 2 pixels, solid, we'll say 3FA, 9F5, and width. So this is going to determine the width of our border. So I'm going to say 20%. Oops. Would help if I could type. So 20%. And now you can see our little blue line appeared. So the width is kind of tricky. I've done it both ways. I did percentage, and then I actually switched to pixels, because the trick here is it's going 20% of the width of your text. And so when you come to mobile, it's actually wider because this is now 100% width. And so 20% of the full width is much larger than it looks on desktop. So for consistency, it's best to just choose a set width on this. We could say 40 pixels, so that then on mobile, it's consistent with desktop. All right, so I'm going to bump this up. Let's say 4 pixel or 3 pixels there. And I want a little bit of space in between the border and the text. So on our first class here, we're going to say padding top 10 pixels. Perfect. So that's exactly what we're going for. It adds just a little design accent that, again, brings a little bit of flair, but doesn't really draw too much attention away from the rest of the website. So we can hit publish and jump on out, and we can see our border in place. All right, so now we can go ahead and address the second heading. And on this one, we're going to do the same style of border, but we want it to appear on the left. So we'll jump into edit our page once again and choose that second heading. And this one, rather than writing any CSS, all we actually need to do is tweak some settings within GenerateBlocks. So first, ensure this is a headline block from GenerateBlocks. And if you come down to the borders settings, and on the left, let's choose a 3-pixel border. And we can insert the same color, 3FA, 9F5. So because we can see now that border applied to the left, but it's going full height of that container, it's definitely not what we're looking for. So what we need to do is jump to this outer container that has flex on it and come up to our settings and do align items top. So now that made the border jump to just the height of our text, which is a lot better. Now we just need to add some left padding. We're going to say 10 pixels left padding. And there it goes. Got a little breathing room in between our border and our text. Go ahead and hit update, come to our page, refresh, and there it is. Now we've got a left border style heading. And last but not least is our bottom one. We're going to do the same type of border that we did on the top, but apply that to the bottom. So we need to, just like the first one, go apply a CSS class. So select your headline block, go to advanced, and this time we'll say heading, border, bottom. Hit update, come to our Meet Team page, jump into the customizer, custom CSS, and what we'll do is, just to sake of time and no need to do things twice, we'll copy this initial code, paste it below. So now, of course, we need to change top to bottom. And it's appearing now just like the top one because we haven't really altered the code. So what we need to do is, instead of it being 0 from the top, we need to change that to bottom. And of course, this is going all the way to the bottom of our container because I believe this does have flex wrapped around it. So I'm going to hit publish. Let's go back to this container and align items to the top, just like we did on that middle headline. Let's hit update and let's go ahead and refresh our page real quick. And perfect, that helps. So now it's just below our heading, but we need to alternate the padding top on the heading border bottom class to bottom 10 pixels. And there you have it. So let's go ahead and hit publish, exit out, and we have our 3 different borders. You have the top skinny border, left border, and a bottom border. So of course, there's really nothing groundbreaking about the design I showed you today, but it was still something cool that I wanted to share. And hopefully you can find it useful and maybe inspire you to try something new. Thanks again for watching, and please like and subscribe for future videos. Thanks.